Sometimes the most beautiful paradise can hide the ugliest betrayal. I learned this the hard way when I lost everything I had worked for in just 2 years. If you're watching this, you probably dream of escaping to Thailand like I did. Well, let me tell you what nobody talks about in those travel blogs. My name is David, and this is how my perfect life in Phuket turned into a complete disaster that nearly destroyed me. If you like stories like this, hit subscribe and comment where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more real experiences. I was 41 when I made the biggest decision of my life. After selling my successful plumbing business in Manchester for £380,000 sterling, 0 pence, I decided I was done with the cold, grey English weather and the endless rat race. My plan was simple: travel the world, find paradise, and start fresh. I had my freedom, my money, and absolutely no idea what was waiting for me. My journey started in Australia, then moved through Southeast Asia. Vietnam was incredible, Cambodia was eye-opening, but then I crossed into Thailand. The moment I stepped off that bus in Phuket, something changed inside me. The warm air hit my face, carrying the smell of street food and ocean salt. The colors were more vibrant than anything I'd ever seen. The people smiled at me like I was an old friend. For the first time in years, I felt truly alive. I rented a small apartment near Patong Beach for 25,000 baht a month. Every morning I'd wake up to the sound of waves and think, this is it. This is home. After 3 months of living my best life, I started feeling lonely. Don't get me wrong, the expat bars were fun, but I wanted something real, something meaningful. That's when I met her. Niran was working at a beachside restaurant in Kata. She was 28 with the most genuine smile I'd ever seen. When she served my pad thai that evening, we started talking about England, about her dreams, about life. She told me she was from Chiang Rai in the north but had moved to Phuket 5 years earlier to help support her family. She worked 2 jobs, the restaurant during the day and a hotel reception at night. I found myself going back to that restaurant every single day just to see her. After 2 weeks of this, I finally worked up the courage to ask her out properly. We went to the Big Buddha at sunset, and as we watched the sun disappear into the Andaman Sea, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: love. Nir and I quickly became inseparable. Within 6 months, she'd moved into my apartment, and I even convinced her to quit her night job. I just wanted to take care of her, to give her the life she deserved. We traveled all over Thailand together: the vibrant floating markets of Bangkok, the serene temples of Chiang Mai, and the breathtaking islands of Krabi. Every single day felt like a honeymoon. But here's where I made my first big mistake. I was spending money like I had unlimited amounts: fancy restaurants every night, weekend trips to 5-star resorts, and shopping sprees in Bangkok. I was burning through about 180,000 baht a month. In my head, I justified it, telling myself, this is my new life. This is what I'd worked so hard for back in England. Niran seemed to love this lifestyle too. She'd never experienced anything like it, and seeing her happiness just made me want to give her even more. After a year together, I did something crazy. I proposed to her on the very beach where we first walked together. She said yes immediately, tears streaming down her face. I want to build something with you, I told her, something that's ours. That's when she mentioned her uncle's struggling restaurant business in Patong. Maybe, just maybe, we could take it over and turn it into something special. The restaurant was called Sunset Dreams. It had 40 seats, a small kitchen, and was located just 2 blocks from the beach. The location was perfect, but the place was pretty run down. Niran's uncle wanted 4.5 million baht for everything: the business, the equipment, and a 5-year lease on the property. I looked at my bank account. I had about 180,000 pounds sterling, 0 pence left, which was roughly 7.2 million baht. If I bought the restaurant, I'd still have enough to renovate it and live comfortably while we built the business. We can make this work, Niran said, her eyes bright with excitement. I know the local suppliers, the customers. This could be our future. The paperwork was complicated. Since I couldn't own the business directly as a foreigner, everything had to go in Niran's name. She would be the legal owner, but we were partners in everything else. Looking back now, I can see all the red flags I ignored, but love makes you blind, doesn't it? We completed the purchase in March 2019. I transferred 4.5 million baht to Niran's account, and just like that, I was a restaurant owner in paradise. The first few months were incredible. We renovated the entire place, new paint, better lighting, comfortable seating. I brought in a chef from Bangkok who taught our local cooks some international dishes. Sunset Dreams became the talk of Patong. We were serving amazing Thai food alongside Western favorites, and the reviews on TripAdvisor were glowing. During high season, we were making 300,000 baht a month in revenue. After expenses, we were keeping about 120,000 baht, not bad for our first year. Niran was in her element. She managed the staff, talked to customers, handled the books. Watching her work was like watching an artist paint. This was her calling, and I was so proud of what we'd built together. We even started planning our wedding, traditional Thai ceremony in her village, followed by a party at our restaurant. Life was perfect. But then, March 2020 arrived and everything changed. COVID-19 hit Thailand like a tsunami. Overnight, the tourists disappeared. The beaches were empty. Restaurants were forced to close or operate at limited capacity. Our monthly revenue dropped from 300,000 baht to barely 80,000. We had to let go of half our staff. The ones who stayed took pay cuts just to keep the restaurant alive. I watched our savings disappear month by month. By June, I had only 1.8 million baht left from my original nest egg. Don't worry, Niran kept saying, this will pass, tourism will come back. But I was panicking. I'd never been this close to being broke. For the first time, I had to sit down with Niran and explain our real financial situation. That conversation changed everything. When I told Niran exactly how much money we had left, her face went completely white. You mean this is it? She asked. This is all the money you have? I explained that yes, this was everything. I'd spent most of my savings on our life together in the restaurant. For 3 days, she barely spoke to me. When she did talk, it was cold, calculated. She started questioning every expense, every decision we'd made. Then I noticed she was taking phone calls in Thai and stepping outside. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd say it was about restaurant suppliers or staff issues. But something felt wrong. One evening in July, I came back to the restaurant early from buying supplies. I heard Niran talking to someone in the kitchen. As I got closer, I realized she was speaking English. Yes, he's almost out of money. I know. After the wedding, we can figure something out. I stood there frozen. Who was she talking to? And why was she discussing our private finances with someone else? When she saw me, she quickly hung up and said it was just her cousin calling about the wedding plans. But the damage was done. The seed of doubt was planted. Things got worse over the next month. Niran became distant, always tired, always stressed. She started going out in the evenings, saying she was meeting with potential investors for the restaurant. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. One night in August, I couldn't sleep. I went down to the restaurant to check on some paperwork, and I found something that shattered my world. Hidden in Niran's desk drawer was a folder with documents I'd never seen before. Bank statements showing transfers I didn't know about. Loan applications in her name using the restaurant as collateral. And then I found the photos, pictures of Niran with a Thai man I'd never seen before. They were laughing, holding hands, looking very much like a couple. The photos were dated from the past 2 months. My hands were shaking as I looked through everything. She'd been planning something behind my back for weeks, maybe months. The worst part? The man in the photos owned 3 restaurants in Patong. He wasn't some random guy. He was a potential business partner she'd been meeting with. Or so she'd told me. I confronted Niran the next morning. I laid out all the documents, all the photos, everything I'd found. For a moment, she looked like a deer caught in headlights. Then her expression hardened into something I'd never seen before. You went through my private things, she said coldly. To Niran, who is this man? What are these loan documents? She sat down heavily and put her head in her hands. When she looked up, there were no tears, just resignation. His name is Samchai, she said. He's been helping me figure out how to save the restaurant by taking out loans I don't know about, by finding solutions you can't provide. The words hit me like a physical blow. She continued, her voice getting stronger. David, I care about you, but I can't go down with this business. My family depends on me. I have responsibilities you don't understand. What about us? What about our wedding? She was quiet for a long time. Then she said the words that destroyed me. There is no us anymore. There hasn't been for months. The next few days were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and heartbreak. Since the restaurant was legally in Niren's name, I had no claim to it. All the money I'd invested was gone. But that wasn't the worst part. 3 weeks after our confrontation, I found out that Niren and Samchai had been together for over 6 months. The photos I'd found were just the tip of the iceberg. She'd been using me to fund the restaurant while building a relationship with someone who could actually help her expand the business. Samchai had money, connections, and most importantly, he was Thai. The loan documents I'd found, they were for a second location. Niren and Samchai were planning to open another restaurant together, using the success of Sunset Dreams as collateral. My investment had essentially funded her new life with another man. When I tried to talk to her one last time, she was completely honest in a way that broke me. I did care about you, David, she said, but I needed security. I needed someone who could build a future with me here in Thailand. You were running out of money and I couldn't wait for you to figure things out. By September 2020, I had 800,000 baht left, enough for a plane ticket back to England and maybe 2 months of expenses. I sold everything I could, my motorbike, furniture, electronics. I even sold my guitar, which I'd brought from England and played on the beach during our happy days. The hardest part was walking away from Sunset Dreams for the last time. I'd poured my heart, my money, and my dreams into that place. Now it would continue without me, making money for the woman who'd betrayed me and the man who'd replaced me. On my last night in Phuket, I sat on the beach where Niren and I had our first date. The sunset was just as beautiful as it had been 2 years earlier, but everything else had changed. I thought about all the mistakes I'd made, trusting too quickly, investing too much, ignoring my heart, make financial decisions. But mostly I thought about how love had made me stupid. The flight back to Manchester was the longest 12 hours of my life. I was 43 years old, nearly broke, and starting over from scratch. Moving back in with my brother was humbling. Explaining to my family and friends what had happened was embarrassing. But slowly, day by day, I started rebuilding. I got a job with my old plumbing company. The owner, bless him, welcomed me back without asking too many questions. I rented a small flat and began the slow process of saving money again. For months, I couldn't even look at pictures of Thailand. The pain was too fresh, the betrayal too raw. But time has a way of healing wounds, even the deepest ones. It's been 3 years now since I left Phuket. I'm back on my feet financially, though nowhere near where I was before. I've saved about 85,000 pounds sterling, 0 pence, and I'm building my business again. Do I regret going to Thailand? No. Do I regret trusting Niren? That's more complicated. I learned some hard lessons. Never invest money you can't afford to lose. I put everything into that restaurant without a backup plan. Don't let emotions drive financial decisions. I was so in love that I ignored obvious risks. Understand the legal system before you invest. As a foreigner in Thailand, I had no real legal protection. Trust but verify. I should have been more involved in the business finances instead of leaving everything to Niren. Have an exit strategy. I never planned for what would happen if things went wrong. Most importantly, I learned that paradise isn't a place. It's a feeling, and that feeling can be taken away from you in an instant if you're not careful. Would I go back to Thailand? Maybe. But if I do, it'll be different. I'll rent, not buy. I'll keep my money in my own accounts. I'll enjoy the country without trying to build my entire life there. I've started dating again, slowly. It's hard to trust after what happened, but I'm working on it. The right person will understand my caution and respect my boundaries. I still follow Sunset Dreams on social media sometimes. Niran and Samchai did open that second location. They seem happy together, and honestly, I hope they are. I don't wish them ill, I just wish things had ended differently. The restaurant looks successful. They've added live music nights and cooking classes. It's exactly what we had planned to do together. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if COVID hadn't hit. Would we still be together? Would the business have succeeded? Would I have eventually run out of money anyway? I'll never know, and that's probably for the best. If you're thinking about making a big move like I did, I want to share one last piece of advice. Follow your dreams, but don't abandon your common sense. Thailand is an incredible country. The food, the culture, the people, it's all amazing. But it's not a magical place where normal rules don't apply. Money still matters, business is still business, and people are still people with their own motivations and needs. I don't want my story to scare you away from adventure. I want it to help you be smarter than I was. Plan better, save more, trust carefully, and always, always have a backup plan. My Phuket dream became my worst nightmare, but I survived it. I'm stronger now, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next, just not in Thailand. At least not yet. The sunset is just as beautiful for Manchester, by the way. It just takes a little more effort to see it through the clouds. What do you think? Have you ever lost everything chasing a dream? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story helped you in any way, please subscribe for more real experiences from people who've been there. Remember, paradise is beautiful, but it's not always what it seems.